Hey guys, Ellen Woodbridge here, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. And today I am here to play with another card from my class. And today's card is using today's tiles, how appropriate. And I am using the matching field tiles dies, and these are available together in a bundle, and you can save 10%. Now I've actually made two versions of this card and I like both, but it was pointed out to me from one of my dear friends who signed up last month, the words don't stand out very much. So this is the first one that I made, so using cinnamon cider, Just Jade, Bumblebee and Misty Moonlight. So I've used that, and she went, I don't see the sentiment. So I inverted the colours and came up with this one. Same colours, just different combination, and the sentiment really pops. So I'm going to use the Stamparatus because I already have it mounted from the last lot of tile cards that I made with you. And I've just realised I can't see anyone's comments today. What's going on? I don't know what's going on. I'll get up my second screen and see if I can see. I can see I've got 10 of you here, but I can't see any comments. Bizarre. If you're here, please comment while I get up and make sure everything's working. Hello, everyone is commenting. I just can't see it on my screen. That's true, and I don't want to press finish. Hello, Miss Sam Haynes. I can now see a few comments, but I can see them here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. If you haven't already, or you're watching for the first time, welcome. If you like what you see today, please consider subscribing or liking here on Facebook, or subscribing on YouTube. The other thing you can do to get notifications that I go live is the 3 dots above where the comments are on your computer. You can tap those and get notified when I go live. So I am going to flip you guys around and we will get making this card. It's not the most complicated card in the world, but I just want to show you how I use the colors and how you can use a Stamparatus with the field tile stamp set. So is everyone in Australia geared up for the weekend? Because for me, my kids start school holidays. Tomorrow is their last day of the term, and I'm pretty excited because that means I don't need to drive them to school and pick them up every day. So for me, I'm uber excited. Sorry, just getting myself all lined up here. I think I'm good. We shall see on my second screen. I'll turn off the light. Ooh, a hair appointment. How nice, Carol. Right, there we go. Whoop, I almost fell in and off my chair all in one movement. Having a special morning. Oh. Right. Okay, hello Tatiana and Pamela and Linda, Kathy, Rose, Sam White. Sam White, I haven't seen you in ages. Nice to see you here. Thank you for sharing. Hello Linda, other Linda, Delinda and Carol. Yes, I've got a virtual crafty day tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, sorry. I've got a meeting tomorrow and I've got a virtual crafty day on Saturday that I'm going to. So that's my packet from class with all my bits, because I did manage to make this card in class. I know, surprise, surprise, I'm as surprised as you. So cinnamon cider card base, whisper white card front. I already have this piece die cut as well as the little piece. So they are all already done. This color palette would also work really well with Very Vanilla. It would work really nicely with Very Vanilla. Hey Sylvia. Hey Donna. Okay, so all the die cutting's done for me. I have used this one. Now the thing I like about this one is I can easily, and I'll show you here, I can easily snip these edges and use this middle part as a medallion by itself. But I do like it just as a single piece as well, but it does have uses beyond that, and you could snip off the connection points and then just use this as a frame as well. So yeah, yay Leanne, that's awesome. I love it when you girls get excited about catching me live. So I'm just going to put the dies to the side. I haven't even got out the Stamparatus, girls. I'm doing well. Hey Catherine, thanks for joining. Okay, so Stamparatus, ta-da, already set up because Ellen will be playing things smart, not hard. I want to do more cards with this, so I just haven't disassembled it at all. Now I want to go into my Stamparatus bag. I love my Stamparatus bag. I keep all my bits and bobs to do with the Stamparatus in it. And I want to grab, if I can get rid of the distractions for it, I want to grab some of the paper. So this is the grid paper meant just for the Stamparatus. It's actually really useful size paper, and it's just your normal grid paper. Hello. Oh, no problems, no problems. You enjoy your movie night, Catherine. Hello, Miss Margaret. Okay, so I already have set up, this is the detail piece, which we're not going to use today, but I've got them set up so they go together on two separate plates. And I will need my Just Jade ink. I can pretty much stamp and get moving. That's how prepared I am today. Look at me go. And because we're using a photo polymer stamp set, I have my deluxe foam mat, which I will be stamping off the edges with this, so it works out really well. Now I think we're going, is it 1 down and 3 across? Now this doesn't have to be perfect because none of us are. Hello, Miss Jennifer. Okay, pop in, and I moved it. That's okay. I said it doesn't have to. Actually, that's really crooked. I say it doesn't have to be perfect, but when it's really crooked, that works out perfectly. Okay. Oh, as I put it down, it moves. Right. I think we're just going to leave it there. Now, for the card, I just want to make sure you can see the card. I have actually stamped off, which is why I have got my scrap piece here. So I've stamped it off to make it look like a worn tile, and the Just Jade by itself was a little strong for the background that I was after. Part of this just sometimes doesn't want to ink up, and it's always the same medallion. Right, I call it a medallion, but it's really a tile. Okay, so to stamp off, I take my piece of paper to the stamp, rub my hand over it. That's, you can see I've got a decentish impression there. And then I use my hand like this. You can use this. It's just, I get the right amount of pressure for my hands doing this. and you can see we get a beautiful impression. So now I am going to grab the end of this, line it back up. Now we are going to do the hinge step technique. So we just tilt our plate up to 90 degrees, take it down to hinges, pop it back in, and we're going to repeat that same process again. Hello, Miss J. I hope you're feeling even better today, Miss Jamie. I've been busy this morning. I've gone to the post office. Jamie, I got a box to fit my 6x6 pencil cases in. I went to the hot dollar store while I was at going to the post office, and I got a couple of other containers as well. So you can see by using the hinge step technique, and Stampin' Up have designed it this way, that we get perfect alignment going down. So right, let's see if, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, no, it's just moved ever so slightly. That's going to be in the way. That's better. It's a touch off, but it's so much better. And because there are spaces in between the tiles, it makes the hinge step technique so much easier. And I do like having the stamp set that I'm using just sitting under the plate here, and it makes it all level. So we're going to do that hinge step one more time, go down one more just to finish off the card front. I really do love my Stamparatus, especially for these types of techniques, because I've lined it up on the grid mat and I'm going to get a really great impression. Okay. And once again, and I'm going to be a bit more mindful this time. That's perfect. Somehow I lost my edge, but that's okay. They just did a crappy job tiling the floor. Oh, please excuse the garbage truck across the road. I've got my front door open. You can hear, hopefully it's not too loud for you. Good morning, Miss Michelle Cusper. If my chamois, is my chamois wet enough? Ooh, it may just be. It's like half wet, half dry. I'm just going to wipe this off. It really does need a good go through the Stamparatus. There's a bit of ink in those crevices, but I just want to mostly get it off and just here, just so I don't transfer any extra ink to another project. But if I'd prepared my chamois in the beforehand, that would have been smart. Now, if I wanted the detail, I'll show you this. So I take off this plate and I will pop this back in. Okay, so if I was to want to put in the detail, I can pop this on and go down just like that, although I set this up for a single piece, so the way I've got this set up isn't exactly correct, but you can see I've got it set up ready to go. So what I could do is just pop this butt up and or line it up down here, wherever you want to line it up, as long as you've got an orientation piece. Pop the stamp on here, and that then gives it a registration point to go from. But the detail piece, I have done it both ways. I've done it with or without the Stamparatus, and I do find it's just that bit easier to use using the Stamparatus. Okay, so now I'm finished with that. I'm going to need a block. While I'm stamping, do you think I can grab a block in my hands? Hello, Miss Beverly. Okay, and I will be smart and close this if I can find my pair of scissors. Yes, I do use a pair of scissors to close my ink pad. I just put the end of the scissors in the little divot to push it along, and then I close it. Makes it really nice and easy. So now we're going to stamp the sentiment. Got this piece, sorry, everything's everywhere today. No, I'm not using Misty Moonlight, I'm using Cinnamon Cider. Beautiful colour, and it goes really, really well on the bumblebee. Oh, thanks for sharing, Bev. I appreciate it. Okay, grab out. This is, what sentiment? I must have used that one because it's already stained. So I use the I'm so blessed to have you in my life. Just going to, oh, actually, bring back in this scrap of paper just to, perfect. Well, my stamping isn't perfect, but my inking up was pretty good. Okay, sorry, went silent, was concentrating. I'm so blessed to have you in my life. And that goes to all of you girls. Okay. That stamp is now all cleaned off. And I will close this ink pad. That's all the stamping for this. Nice and simple. But I just like, you can make these tiles as simple or as complicated as you want, because that first level looks beautiful and it looks equally lovely. I'm just going to, I've just got a touch of ink on the corner here and I can see myself getting it everywhere. There we go. Always remove ink from everywhere if I can. I know, they're the in colours, so I've used the 2020, 2022 in colours. So that's where that's all come from. And now you've painfully got to watch me weed this. Where's my mat? Of course it's hiding in here under stuff, I'm sure. No, it's here. Even though I'm not using the brush, I do like to still put it on the mat, so then you can push through and just disengage all these pieces. I could be using my paper piecer, but none of the pieces are actually small enough that I can't use the end of my scissors, because my scissors are pretty much a multi-purpose tool in my life. Now you could keep these pieces and do the inlay technique and use this piece, lay in all the other pieces, and then take the piece that we're using away to create the reverse pattern. I never have the patience for inlay. I love the look, but I just don't have the patience. I'm not using the brush because I find the brush works better when you've got the paper in the die, and I don't want to curl up this paper. Good question, Jamie. I just find if I use it, it tends to, on just the paper, it tends to curl it up, and I just don't want to curl it up. But if I use it in the die, it gets out like 90% of the pieces, no issues at all. But this didn't take long, gave me a chance to chitter chat. So have you girls seen this month's offer, the bonus days, that you receive a voucher to, if you spend in Australia, the threshold is $90, and you get a $9 voucher to spend in August, which you could potentially spend on the holiday catalogue. So spend now from the annual catalogue. Oh, I don't need to use mini ones here. Spend now from the annual catalogue, and you can get vouchers to spend in the mini. Keep on calling it holiday, but it really isn't the holiday catalogue. It definitely is the mini. Now the hardest thing is going to be to choose which in colour ribbon I am going to use. That's very loose. That's a bit better. So I can choose 4 out of the 5 in colours. I'm going to see what works, what I feel like today. So I've got them all here. I don't think I'll use Just Jade on Just Jade. I really just think that's a bit too matchy-matchy, so that one can go back. The cinnamon cider would look good. Maybe I might try the cinnamon cider and we'll see how it looks, because it'll go whichever way. Yeah, if anyone has any questions about the project as we go along, please just ask. Okay, because I've used so little cinnamon cider in the card, this will work really, really nicely. I always make sure that the ribbon isn't kinked at the back, because then it makes a lump in it and it doesn't sit properly, and all kinds of headaches. I've probably used a touch too much. Oh no, not really, but I always tie off the roll if I can, so then I have less wastage, and when I create my knot I only pull on one edge, but the other thing hasn't formed fantastically. Okay, that's pretty good. And snip off these ends, and then I can position it exactly where I want it. I'm making the ends a touch longer, and I can always trim them down a bit more if I need to. And I'll just pin my ribbon back. It is, the cinnamon cider is a beautiful brown. It's nothing like, it's an orangey brown, and nothing like any of the neutrals that we already have. It helps if you put your finger there. Okay, pin is in and the ribbon isn't going anywhere, but I'll leave this on the desk. Right, so I want to line it up. I think I like it there, because that's pretty much in the middle. That's pretty good. Oh, I know why I got the mini dimensionals out now, girls. Now I've got to find where I threw them. So I'm going to put mini dimensionals in here to elevate it just a touch and to help adhere it. So we've got these pieces right here that are perfect, and that means it's not going lumpy over the piece of ribbon. but it is adhered but still floaty in the same vein. No, I won't, Jamie. No, I don't think I will, because they still go together collectively, but that is a that's a good point, that you could change the card base to the bumblebee, but I'm not, because I've already got it prepared from class, so I'll just kind of keep it as is. Do you know what? I didn't need dimensionals on this, but that's okay. It'll just be a very dimensional card. And I have an idea about a rainbow card in my head using the rainbow glimmer paper. So I may share it with you, depends on when I make it. Oh no, I've got a rip in my nail. See, true point, my nails break below the white. Don't know how I did that, probably did it food shopping earlier. Okay, and then I'm just going to line that up as best as I can. I can't even tell if that's straight. Okay, pull this through just a little bit, and I can adhere that with the glue dot in a second and take these off. And the last thing we're going to, and we're just going to add some embellishments. I will add, Jamie, to tie in the yellow, I'll pop in some bumblebee enamel dots, and that will tie the yellow in nicely. Yeah, I like them. I'll show you them again. They're really great frames. I'll talk to you about them, Bev, and just give you my opinion on them. There isn't too much on social media like Pinterest and stuff like that on this stamp set, I've noticed, because I generally do go for a little inspiration search on Pinterest and Instagram, and if I don't find anything that inspires me, I often just Google the name of the stamp set and see what comes up, because I normally, I don't even copy the cards. I'll use an idea as a jumping off point, and quite often, I know the names of the stamp sets can be similar to an old one, so something else will come up in that search and I'll go, ooh, I like that. Like I'd seen this middle medallion piece cut out. I went, ooh, that's a really good idea. Now, I can for the life of me not remember what that card was that inspired me, but the idea is there. So I'm going to use my Stampin' Seal. I've got to use it to get used to it. Good morning, Miss Shirley. And I'll share my tip again. So this has the glue. Is it there ready to go pretty much? No, it doesn't. So I just need to wind it on a touch. Now, just a little tab and just tilt it back to break it. No pressure at all, and tilt back. So I tilt it back to break it. I've just found that the easiest way for me, and you really truly do not need to use a lot of pressure. There's like, it just glides. I know snail, when you got to the end of the roll, you used to have to apply a tinge of pressure, but with this, no. I just need to be a bit more aware of when I'm using it, how straight I'm making it. Okay. I'm happy with that, so I will grab a glue dot and we'll tie in that bumblebee. I don't even know what comment I said to what you're commenting on, Bev. Are you okay with me calling you Bev, or do you prefer Beverly? Because, you know, in Australia we shorten every name except for mine and my children's. Ah, you didn't like the tip. The sound. Oh my God. I so need like a week's worth of sleep, girls. The end of the month has not been kind to me. Okay, let's grab our in colour dots. I'm getting so close to the end. I've grabbed a new packet, and let's grab my take your pick tool. Ta-da! And my amazing tip of grabbing it and pushing it, and then I can pop it wherever I wish. And because I've got the 2 hits of cinnamon cider, I don't think I'm going to use that anywhere in my embellishment. I think I'm just going to use the bumblebee, the midnight, the misty moonlight, and the just jade. I think 3 is the magic number, and that's that. Oh, do you know what? I added that too high. Let's see if I can move this down a tinge. It's just... perfect. It's just a tinge, still is, or maybe it's the angle I'm looking at it on. Oh, that's a bit better. I know the cinnamon looks great. So you can see same card, just different ribbon and slightly different coloured enamel dots. So it's really easy to use everything the same. Didn't think of taking... Emma, I have done a quick tip video because a lot of people were having issues with them splitting because whatever they were using to take them off, they were getting in between the coloured backing and the clear dome and popping them off and splitting them apart. So I heard people doing this, and yeah, and it's also here on the group, Jamie. I did share it here. The other thing you can do is fold your plastic, and it does force one side of them, not so much with these ones, but with the gold glitter ones, and you can just get the tip of your scissors under it, because you don't want to split them, because then you need to glue them together and then glue it to the card, and that hurts everyone's head then, because you've added an extra step that you really shouldn't have to. So yeah, that's what I did. Thank you, Miss Jamie. I would love everyone to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so what we have used today, we've used today's tile. We have used, now Bev, we were talking about the field dies. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of these, fantastic for sentiments. Okay, really versatile with a bit of detail in these 3. This one fits larger sentiments in it really well. I used the thank you sentiment from So Sentimental in it for a thank you card, This one I can use the medallion. I like cut out the medallion from the inside, cut the medallion completely away and have just a frame, or as I've used it here, use it in one piece. You can cut pattern paper from it, you can cut stamped paper and have that pattern look, especially with this one. And the other more open ones, you can use pattern paper. There are so many things you can do with them. So there's some of my ideas for you, Bev. Do you do the square dies layer? Aha! Let me have a look-see. I don't think I've got... Hang on. Oh, I do just need to keep a bit of an eye on the time because I have a lunch date today. Do you mean the stitched ones? Gotta go a fair way. I have so many dies. Rectangles, beautiful bows, stitched shapes. Grab those out and we will have a look together. I think I have the layering squares. It's just, no, do you know what? I've definitely got the layering circles. I don't know that, oh yes, I do have the layering squares. So let's have a look at both of those. Clip one edge of my container there. So let's have a look at the stitched ones first. This pretty much is the same size as the biggest one, and this one is a bit smaller. So the stitched shapes does not work. And these are the stitch shapes, if you're wondering. So they are the oval, squares and circles. Now these are the layering squares where you get the scallop squares and then you get the square dies. So let's get the biggest one. Ooh, that's perfect. Perfect for a little mat with that one. I don't know if this one, you could also get a scalloped edge. So there definitely are things, yeah, there definitely are things, and you can get a scalloped edge on that one too. And let's check the biggest one. Yeah, the biggest one, that's pretty much on par, so you could definitely cut a layering piece or a slightly larger piece for that as well. And this one, I'm pretty sure if you check it, this is my Australian cardstock. It goes perfectly edge to edge 10 centimeters. So you can do some really fun things with this one. Oh yes, Miss Jamie, you know a way to my heart talking about vellum. So there you go, there's some ideas. The other thing, oh, I used my Stampin' Seal, which I'm kind of becoming in love with, just saying. Oh, wrong way. Putting this lid on though, you always think you're putting it on the wrong way, because it kind of looks like a dolphin. It's funny. And we used the Stamparatus. I don't know how I'm going to get Stamparatus in the picture. Maybe I put the Stamparatus down there. There you go. So that's what we're... Good morning, Karen. I'm just finishing up. Just finishing up. You'll have to go back and watch the replay. Oh, and the ribbon. How can I forget the ribbon? I used the cinnamon cider ribbon, but as you can see here, same products, equally worked well with the bumblebee. Thank you, Miss Denise. Yes, I'm loving my Stampin' Seal 2. So after my initial, oh, I'm not sure about this, it's all a learning journey and working out how to use it. And just for those, this is my card where I inverted the colors and it didn't quite make the sentiment pop. So thank you, girls. Have an amazing weekend. My plan is to get ahead this weekend because the end of last month was a bit of a schmozzle for me and I am still playing catch up. So yes, love the Stamparatus. What did I call it? I called it something else. The Stamparatus. I don't know what I said. I really don't. The Stamparatus made it easy to do the hinge step and get these lined up as best we could, and even this one I managed to hide it not working totally well. Thank you. Have an amazing weekend, and I will be back next week. I'm assuming Tuesday is going to work the best, but I haven't looked that far because it's school holidays, so I'm just not sure what I am doing. But stay well, stay safe, those Victorians and you guys in the US, stay safe. And you always call it the box thing, Stamparatus. The box thing. That's hilarious. I love that, Tatiana. As long as you use it right, it doesn't matter what you call it, I say. But be good, be well, and I'll catch you later. Bye.